Welcome to the deep dive. We love taking these incredible stories and really pulling out the details that make history feel real for you. Today we're heading out onto the high seas. We're going to look at one of the biggest names, maybe the biggest, Blackbeard.
That name alone, right? It just conjures up pirates' terror.
Exactly. And we're going right to the end, to his final battle, the climax of his story. So our mission today is to get past the usual pirate tales, the swashbuckling myths. We want to dig into what the historical accounts actually say about that final fight.
Yeah, find those surprising facts, the details that really bring it to life.
And we're using a great starting point for this deep dive.
Right. We're leaning heavily on Blackbeard, the infamous pirate's final duel history in 5 minutes or less. It gives a really concise look at the specifics of that showdown. Some fascinating points in there we can really unpack.
Okay, so before we get to the end, we need to understand who this guy was. Blackbeard, the man behind the legend.
Edward Teach, that was his real name.
And the accounts, they paint him as, well, the most feared pirate to ever roam the Atlantic. That's quite the title.
It is. And what's really interesting, I think, is how he got that reputation. It wasn't just brute force.
Oh.
He was smart about it. It was almost psychological warfare. That look, he had the massive black beard, the wild eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's described as the embodiment of maritime terror.
So the image itself was a weapon.
Absolutely. It was like reputation management, pirate style. Often ships would surrender without him even needing to fight.
Yeah.
He used fear efficiently,
Yeah.
minimized his own risk.
Clever. And he definitely had the muscle to back it up. That ship of his, the Queen Anne's Revenge.
Oh, yeah, a floating fortress, basically, packed with cannons. I mean, a 40-gun ship like that sailing under a pirate flag, that was a huge statement.
It really showed how powerful he'd become, how much of a threat he was. It cemented his reign.
Mm-hmm.
But like you always see, even for someone like Blackbeard, things start to turn. By 1718, the authorities in the American colonies, they'd just had enough.
Yeah, his actions had become intolerable, as the source puts it. He was disrupting trade, causing chaos.
And you have Governor Alexander Spotswood of Virginia stepping up.
Right. And you have to think about the pressure he was under. It wasn't just about trade. Blackbeard was making the crown look weak, almost untouchable.
Ah, okay. So Spotswood's bold decree, Blackbeard must die. It was more than just wanting him gone.
Exactly. It was about restoring order, proving that no one was beyond the law, even the most feared pirate out there. A real high-stakes move.
So Spotswood gets Lieutenant Robert Maynard from the Royal Navy.
Yep, and gives him 2 ships. Sloops, actually. The Ranger and the Jane.
Loops. Smaller, right. Good for shallow water.
Exactly. Single mast, quick, ideal for navigating tricky coastal areas like inlets, which turned out to be important.
Because Maynard's mission was clear. Find Blackbeard, confront him, bring him in, dead or alive, essentially.
A very dangerous job.
So Maynard finds him, cracks him down to Ocracoke Inlet in North Carolina.
Right, described as a maze of islands and sandbars. A classic pirate hideout, really. Easy to get lost in if you don't know it.
And what was Blackbeard doing?
Well, the timing was interesting. Blackbeard and his crew, they were apparently ashore, drinking, completely oblivious.
Celebrating, relaxing, no idea what was coming.
Seems like it. Unaware of the storm about to descend upon him, as the source says, just totally caught off guard.
So Maynard uses the darkness, sneaks his ships closer.
Mm-hmm. Stealth was key.
And then dawn breaks, November 22nd, 1718, and that quiet inlet just explodes.
Yeah, the boom of cannon fire, the fight was on.
Blackbeard reacts quickly, though, right? He was a tactician.
Oh, yeah. He immediately opened fire. He probably thought he could just blast them out of the water, outgun them.
And he did some serious damage early on.
He did. The Ranger, one of Maynard's sloops, took heavy hits. Pretty much put it out of action. So Maynard was really relying on just the Jane.
Okay, so Maynard's down a ship facing Blackbeard's firepower. He needs a new plan. Fast.
Right. And this is where it gets really clever. Maynard comes up with this cunning plan.
Which was?
He ordered most of his men on the Jane to hide below deck.
Below deck? Why?
To make the ship look abandoned, or at least very lightly crewed. An easy target.
Ah, so it wasn't just hiding, it was bait. Playing on Blackbeard's confidence.
Exactly. Pure deception. Luring him into a trap. Very smart, very risky.
And did Blackbeard buy?
He did. Hook, line, and sinker. He saw what looked like a damaged, nearly empty ship. An easy prize.
So he boards the Jane.
Yep. Him and his crew, weapons drawn, ready to take over, expecting minimal resistance.
And then?
Then Maynard springs the trap. His men burst out from below deck. Suddenly, the pirates are surrounded, caught totally by surprise.
Chaos on deck, close quarters fighting.
Absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Swords, pistols, grappling in a really confined space.
Yeah.
Brutal stuff.
And right in the middle of it all, you get this legendary duel. Maynard versus Blackbeard.
The main event, really. Blackbeard is described as this towering figure, armed to the teeth, fighting like a cornered animal with the ferocity of a trapped beast.
Just at that scene, the noise, the smoke.
And Blackbeard's resilience.
Yeah.
It's kind of astonishing. The accounts say he was shot 5 times.
5 times.
5 times.
Yeah.
And slashed with swords over 20 times.
20? And he kept fighting.
Kept fighting. Seemingly unstoppable. It just speaks to, I don't know, sheer will. Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Maybe just a man fighting for his absolute life.
That level of violence is hard to even picture. Just savage.
It really was. Close, desperate combat.
But even someone that tough, eventually.
Eventually, yeah. Maynard, though maybe not as physically imposing, was determined. He managed to get the upper hand.
And delivered the final blow.
The fatal blow. He actually decapitated Blackbeard. Right there on the deck. The Pirate King fell.
Decapitated. Wow. Grim.
Very. And then there's that legend, Blackbeard's last laugh.
Right. The story about his body.
Yeah, the tale goes that after they threw his headless body overboard, it supposedly swam around the ship 3 times before sinking.
Creepy. Probably just a legend, but what a story.
Yeah.
Adds to the whole myth, doesn't it?
It really does. Chilling detail.
And Maynard didn't just leave it at that. He took trophy.
A grim one. Blackbeard's severed head. He hung it from the bowsprit, the front of his ship.
Why? Just pure vengeance.
Partly, maybe, but mostly as a warning. A very graphic, very effective warning to other pirates, basically saying, this is what happens. We can get you.
A powerful message.
Hugely powerful. And this wasn't just about ending one pirate, however famous. Blackbeard's death and the way it happened, the public display, it had much bigger consequences.
How so?
Well, historically speaking, it really marked the beginning of the end for the Golden Age of Piracy.
Really? One man's death.
It was a major turning point. It showed the authorities, particularly the Royal Navy, were getting serious, organized, and capable of taking down even the biggest legends. It demoralized other pirates, made their whole way of life seem much, much riskier.
So it sent shockwaves through that whole world.
Absolutely. The tide was turning against them.
And yet, despite that brutal end, Blackbeard's name, it still resonates today, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. It's synonymous with rebellion and fearlessness.
Yeah.
There's an enduring allure to his story. People are still fascinated.
It's become more than just history. It's a narrative, a symbol.
Exactly. His body might have been claimed by the sea, but the legend, that definitely lives on, haunting the waters he once ruled. He's iconic.
So that's the story. Behind the myths, you find this incredible dramatic reality. Maynard's cunning plan, Blackbeard's sheer ferocity, and that brutal, decisive end. Much more to it than just parrots and eye patches.
Definitely. And it makes you think, doesn't it, about these historical legends. How much is solid fact, verifiable history?
And how much is the power of a good story, shaped over time?
Right. How much gets amplified or maybe even invented because it makes the legend better? It's a fascinating question with figures like him.
It really is. And maybe that's the final thought for you listening. What is it about someone like Blackbeard, a figure of violence and rebellion from centuries ago, that still grabs our attention so strongly?
Yeah, what does that fascination tell us about ourselves? About our interest in defiance, in the wild, the unknown?
Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.